Hey, Revolt and Wambazi on the show. Prosperity Insights Radio after 6, right here on Hot FM. And we don't do the other frequencies anymore, do we? Like 89.1.
Everything is digital these days.
So it's just 87.7. And for the rest of you, just get the Mingletainment app. And it's pretty cool, download it. Then when you put your credentials, you get a one-time PIN to verify you are you, and then you're good to go. Right? Not so.
Indeed.
Now, is it working for international people? Because a number of colleagues were asking, do they get a one-time PIN out there? How does it work?
I'm only aware about the local. Not sure. I need to get more information.
So your diaspora people still can't listen to this.
Not too sure.
Yeah, should find out. So next week we know. Now, I've not been paid for this, so I only say a bit, but I've not been paid for this. I heard the Tigmu Eats ad here.
Okay.
I downloaded it in the studio last week, just when we were together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually registered. It's so cool. Registered and put my details, and it sent a one-time PIN. And then from there, I got onto the thing itself. And then over the weekend, I said, let's give this thing a shot. And I ordered. And mind you, the other week, I had tried to call these people directly. And they were like, Auntie, where are you? Where? But unless order and you're shine, useless people. So it didn't work. But then with the Tigmu Eats thing, brilliant. Not only did I get my order, but I was able to pay directly through the app. And there's some really cool features. Okay, I just have to say this. There are really cool features. The one that really blew me, the one that tick, it was when you order, they start sending you this little push notification. So the first one is you have successfully placed your order. Then the second one comes saying your order has been handed to the restaurant. Like, okay. And then the third one, the restaurant is done with your order. Our guy is going to receive. And then on the map, I checked. You even see the signal of the Honda guy.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Okay, that. For me, I was like, yeah.
The new norm. It's the new norm.
No. I was blown out. I said, this is so cool. And the Honda guy even reaches the whatever. And then it even tells you, your order has been picked. And he even puts the name of the guy. And the guy who was delivering to me was Teddy. I was like, okay. Then go just about 2 minutes later. This is Teddy. Hey, Mwalasa.
All right.
Sorry, I just had to say that. It was so funny.
It's okay.
But I just loved it. I think that was a good experience because it's just nice when you see an innovative product. You know me. I'm gonna say it. If it's bad, I'll just keep quiet. But that was clever. So I think they're doing a good job. And I think that next time I'm gonna try a competitor of theirs just to see if they match up.
Then you can come and tell about it here.
But Kaya can't mention because he's like, I haven't paid for that. But no wonder I can come and say, why not?
Yeah.
I said, I use the competitor. And then I'll do my story. But meantime, I think let me stick with these guys first because the list of restaurants is quite attractive. So, you can do quite a bit of picking there. I think that's clever. But ironically, there's one popular restaurant that's not on that app.
Well,
I'm sure they've refused.
Yeah.
Oh, Ife, Mama boy.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Which other restaurant do you know that sells chickens?
We'll not go there.
The most unhealthy chickens in Zambia.
Wow.
Where do you get them?
Wow.
Those same people.
Okay.
They are not on the list. Okay, I've said it. Okay, so a big welcome to all of you. There's virtually no cars I'm seeing here. That just shows you what the new normal is like.
Yeah.
It's insane, huh? I can't believe 1837 we have cars, going home. Plenty of cars. Nothing. To my brake light, one. Unbelievable.
People staying home, staying safe, working from home.
That's something else, huh? And then today I heard the numbers. Woo! I was like, Jesus, Joseph and Mary, help us, please. Those are some crazy high numbers. So I don't know what the plan is. We're like high numbers and we are like opening up,
Man.
That's such a contrarian.
I see America doing the same thing. So
because you know why? You can only be scared for so long.
True.
You know, it's like in the end, you're like, okay, I didn't go for Mwaziva. And not only that, myself and Mr. Zach, the man with a plan, had a very interesting conversation this afternoon, which I cannot repeat.
Okay.
Let's just say we said it is okay.
Wow.
It is akwanisa. So chap.
Nakudala tenzo kwa.
Mwaziva. Simonga stenze kuva mtimafa kudala kuna. And then in terms of ngani monga TB, you have TB where you are right now. Indeed. Even me, I have TB.
Very possible.
In fact, everyone in this studio has TB. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when they do to my sputum test, chani waka dinika faka machani waka scrape mkatum, and then they take it for testing. There's TB.
Indeed.
So the issue is, has it killed you?
No.
So it only kills when you can finish the sentence. Your immunity chakuti. So, again, this is just my opinion. It's not the radio station's opinion. It's not ministry. In fact, I'm not even a doctor, so I've got no. It's just my opinion. Kuti oro COVID yakaena izaka paya ngati kuikacha ka underlying shan situation. So that's my view so far. Let's wait and see how many more people die, and then we can tell. But the numbers are really high, so sooner or later somebody has to start dying from those numbers.
Oh well.
Not that it's a good
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
You see, if they have underlying issues, they may. But then the question is, what killed them? The COVID or the underlying issue?
That's the thing.
So we stop there, because today we are on a topic that is so mind-blowing, okay? This topic is in fact, we're going to be running this like every 2 months or something. We're calling this Perspectives Hidden in Plain Sight. Let me explain why we call it that. Why do we call it Perspectives Hidden in Plain Sight? Because one thing that I've come to learn personally, Michael, okay, Michael, you don't know. That's your radio name. No, one thing I've come to learn is that this world is very funny. The most powerful truths stare you in the face. That's the funniest part about life. The most powerful truths stare you in the face, but only if you are open in mind can you see them. So there's a very interesting set of optical illusions out there. They're very common. If you type on Google, type optical illusions and then look at images, you will see that you have images that can be one thing, but if you look again, it's something else. So those we call hidden in plain sight. Now, the truth is that when it comes to everything in life, religion, money, God, wealth, progress, marriage, you name it, everything has two perspectives. The obvious perspective and the hidden perspective. And so, it's a kind of topic you need people who are tuned in a particular way.
Yeah.
With a certain type of thinking.
Kaja.
So even me, I'm in that boat. We're outliers. That's what they call us, outliers. That means we go against the grain. We're not the norm. I'm a reverend, but I definitely do not fit the picture in any way.
No.
Navala jeans pano. I've got shiny CC. They even talk about it. I've got like an accent.
Not got an accent. Okay.
Because I've been insulted about it
I know.
on social media. So I'm bringing this up. And nobody knows whether I'm a pastor or a businessman. Because this always comes up every time.
Yeah.
What, you a pastor? Yeah, and then the others will say, he's just a businessman. That's why Mama Kamba Pastor is not even real, that one. Then others who don't know me, these are the pastors that are killing and destroying the church.
Those iPhone pastors. Anyway, I don't want to. It's okay, continue.
No, but you get my point. No, for real, just be real. Because that's what they say. Now, I don't care, because I told you already I'm an outlier. I go against the grain. I do not go the way everybody goes. I don't follow crowds. I don't follow mobs. I do definitely think differently. And because of that, I think I tend to see things in very, very odd ways. And today, my guest, who is going to be a regular on this segment we're calling perspectives hidden in plain sight is exactly the same. So he's a gentleman that we go way back, and I mean way back, 2001, that far back, 19 years ago when I first met him. And he too was going down the Bible school, Bible college, church gig route, just like me. The difference is I don't know when he kind of veered to the left and went the other direction. But for me, I stayed that route until 2007, 2008, 2009. Got the challenge of my life, got a serious master reset, and then God helped me to get to where I am now. And it took very long. To listeners as well as my brother Nono here, it took me very long, and I mean very long, to cast the shackles of mental bondage caused by what I'm going to call a perspective as understood by those who lead you. That sounds pretty deep. That's about correct. So my brother is another one of those. So I fondly call him Brother Jack. Okay, so Brother Jack, and when I was trying to get Brother Jack on the show, I said, so Brother Jack, should I read out your profile and all that jazz? He's like, no need. Let's just go there and just do brainiac stuff.
Okay.
Let's just do brains, let the brains speak. And the brains will bring the credentials. So many times even when people listen to the show, they're like, so this Reverend, what does it do? He's, what? How much have I been? I'm a pounder before No, Stima Pounder, very much of a mood. Because obviously Stima Pounder all the time. I read a lot, I study a lot. I'm an eternal learner. I'm always learning. I find learning a very, very positive attribute for anybody that wants to make it in this world and stay relevant. Because if you don't learn, the moment you think you know everything, there's only one place left for you to go. You know where that is, right?
Yeah.
Down.
So
you have to learn. There's these new millennials and centennials have a lot to teach us. So I'm always going to listen to what they have to say and then learn from them as well. Some of the greatest CEOs now are coming there to my centennials, which is a joke, right? But they are getting rich and you learn a thing or two. So I think all of us need to be in that boat. But for me, I've been an outlier. And so my brother friend here is also an outlier. And today, what I want to do is we are doing a hidden perspective on money like you've never heard it before. And so to do justice to this, I want to read an article amongst many that my brother Jack, writes. He's a writer. He's actually, he said I shouldn't say. Okay, but he's a very, very good screenwriter. He writes scripts, he writes. So he's a bit of a thinker. And in fact, his family are full of thinkers. They are thinkers, actually, these guys. They're much, much more intelligent than people may think. So here's what he said in his article, and we're kind of picking it up from there, and he's in the studio already, so he'll jump right in and we'll just run. He said, the greatest resource in the world, greater than gold or silver, is, wait for it. That's a drum roll, by the way. It sounds pathetic, but it's a drum roll. So what is the greatest need more than gold or silver? Need. Yes, need. N-E-E-D, need. If you can fill a need, you can be wealthy. I hope Umumve says. Especially if you can fill it consistently and systematically. In the world of commerce, three things stand out, namely goods, services, money. All the three above serve one purpose. What is it again? Need. Let's take rentals, for example. The landlord who leases out his properties for rent is exploiting a need that people who don't own property have. Now, if the tenants also somehow come into possession of buildings, then the landlord will be stuck. Why? Because then the need is absent.
Yes.
In other words, the poor, some of these perspectives will be annoying and they'll be offensive and they'll get up you the wrong way. But let's just say it. Okay? In other words, the poor with their perpetual needs are actually the source of wealth for the rich. If the poor sorted out all their needs, there would be no need for the rich to exploit. That's a bomb right there. Business between the rich and other rich is not as profitable as business between the rich and the poor. I loved that one also. The rich have fewer needs, so they won't pay heavily for them. Okay? That is why it is in their best interest to keep the poor loaded with Need. Because without need, the commercial world would grind to a screeching halt. What is the big need right now? Sanitizer. Who makes these sanitizers? Rich people. Who do they exploit? The poor. We continue. Let me use something we all know as an example. The famous, let me just say it, 28 million kwacha. And it's strange math, but the idea is, if each person in the country was empowered enough to reduce their needs, the wealthy wouldn't like the status quo, because then the rent lease business would die. The transport business would die. There would be no 28 million to give. So 28 million yashoka could even many hivi. If you are watching, you can tell. Let's see. This one. Yes, this. That's where the 28 million has come from. There. And right now, it's so funny because we've even increased the rate of consuming these things. I mean, these guys are rolling in money. Rolling. One good colleague of mine actually made an even more daring statement. He said, you think it was cash given? Because some people actually think it was cash. No, it wasn't. Hello? Wake up and smell the coffee. I continue. Listen to this. The businesses would die. The transport business would die. So would the health sector. I agree it's a long shot, since the poverty mind would still win over most of the empowered poor. I just talked about this morning. Poverty is a function of the mind. And it is the reason people are poor. They have a mind prison called poverty. But my point still remains that it is best for the rich to keep the poor needy than it is for them to empower them. Look at him. It is best for Volemela to keep the poor needy than it is to empower them. Why? Because need is the only real resource in the world, and the poor are the raw material for this invaluable resource. Need. Now listen. Both the rich and the poor have needs. The difference, the rich have fewer needs, but the poor have plenty. Another difference, remember in commerce, the three things that stand out are goods, services, and money. The rich don't use money to get goods and service. It's the poor who have to use money. The rich use, wait for it, leverage. Or to put it in another way, the rich use bartering. Now let's talk about Africa, because we're going to end with this. Africa is doomed to poverty. Mvesa Sani. And someone's going to say, hey, how can you say that? We are going to wake up. Yes, we'll wake up, but we have to get rid of this particular statement I'm about to make. This has to become a reality. Africa is doomed to poverty and corruption. Why? Because we have lied to ourselves. In fact, I rephrase this, Brother Jack.
Yes.
We have been lied to. That we are poor. That we have so many needs. That developed countries keep us needy. And they give us money in exchange or barter for our gold and silver and diamonds. We get paper, they get real wealth. That's the part that just blows me away. You see, these rich people come into our countries and they give us this paper called US dollars, which is totally useless, because I'll tell you why it's useless. It is because it's paper, and paper has no value. That's just a fact of life. But we take it. In fact, we even keep it muma bank here at no. This is the reserves. But we have billions on the ground. But we are keeping these papers. They tell us our money. Man, we need a wake-up call. I hope that's what we're doing here. The truth is, Africa, we need nothing. We have land. We have mineral wealth. We have plants and trees. We have vast lakes of clean, healthy drinking water, and you name it. The developed countries have, listen to me well, nothing. I say that again. The developed countries have nothing. But they sold us the lie of need, and we bought it hook, line, and sinker. And this mind is near impossible to eradicate. Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Jack, let's get this baby off the ground.
First off, good evening, listeners and the watchers, I guess, viewers, as they call them.
Because Mualas, I love this one. That's why I even said, no, these are the topics we need to start. And let me just throw in a little curveball. The newest person to sell us, crap, basically, for lack of a better word, is China now.
Yes.
So we're just about now kuyamba futi na Chinese. Tasizana na bazungu, tiamba na Chinese. In 10-15 years, we will be a colony of China at the rate we're going.
Yes.
Brother Jack, pick it up. Perspectives hidden in plain sight.
Well, there's lots of things hidden in plain sight. That's the reason why we are zeroing in on the word itself, perspectives. Because to define it, a perspective is, in another way, it's the way you look at something. For example, there is a word that we've heard, a phrase that we've actually heard for a long time now. It's even come to us in form of song. It says, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. In other words, the one who sees the beauty is the one that is looking at you. It's not that you're beautiful. It's the way the person that's looking at you is seeing you. And that's where the perspective is.
Correct.
You see what I mean? So the way the world is around you depends on how you see it.
Yes.
It doesn't depend on how it is. When you see it, it's not because that's the way it is. It's because that's how you see it.
I tell you.
You see what I mean?
So perspective, paradigm, viewpoint, vantage point, whichever word you want to use.
Yes. I like what you said at the beginning. You said that everything in life has got two sides to it. You understand? There is the not true side, or the false side, or the lie. And then there is the correct side, or the true side. Okay? Now, there is a statement that Jesus Christ
Let's preach it, amen.
Jesus Christ made a statement and said, the truth shall set you free if you know it.
Yes. Okay. Know the truth. And
the
shall
truth
make you free.
Shall make you free. If you know it. The trick is knowing it, not that the truth is not there. The truth is there.
So it's been there. It's eternally there.
Exactly.
It's sitting in your face.
There. It's looking at you. It's in your pocket. It's right in front of you.
Yes.
The problem is you don't know it.
So why don't we know it, Brother Jack?
Well, there are two reasons actually why we never know the truth. One, the first big reason is because we never ask the most important question in life,
which is
why.
Because your why
when I started writing stories, to become a writer, which is one of the things I do, there are 5 questions that you are actually supposed to be asking as you write. There is the what question, there is the how question, there is the where question, there is the when question, and then there is the why question.
Okay.
Of the 5 questions, the most important question is the why.
I love
the reason. Because that's what gives motivation.
That's the purpose question, isn't
yes.
it? Why
is
the purpose?
It is the purpose question. It is the motive question.
Yeah.
It is the motivation. What is motivation? There's a machine called a locomotive. There is motive
in that
word. Meaning motive actually is motion.
Yes.
Movement.
Yes.
Progress.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's the why question that causes
motion.
It's the why question that causes progress. It's the why question that causes growth. We call it growth. It's the why question.
From point A
to
point B.
And it is the why question that is going to take you to the truth. If you never ask why, you will never go to the truth. And
so
Jesus,
are you telling me, Brother Jack, that no Africa why?
No, no. There are very few people that ever ask that question. I went to church for a very long time.
Let's talk about that, because van church, the ambia church, because mwati ponya like a bomb before go up air.
Yes.
Mwenzimwa come back to the reason why we have zombies operating in society. Pardon my language here, but what I mean is people who don't ask. It's because of church, eh?
Yes.
Hey, let's talk
that's
about church.
what I said.
Okay,
yes.
no, Tawe, I see. I need to throw this thing back to. So don't go away. We are coming to talk about how the word that this man told me, Brother Jack, he said, "Imwe mabusa imwe ndiye mwalengesa mazombi na makada na bantu amene siba mafunsa why."
Yes.
So don't go away. When keep it locked. We're coming back to tackle that question. Why we have zombies in our midst and how the church and the busas are causing it. Back to you, No.
All right, coming up at 19 hours is the headlines, and after that, Prosperity Insights continues.
It's more. It's the Rev on air, and I just had some good feedback. One good colleague of mine, I can't mention the name purely for just being fair, said that one of the holy books out there says, "The poor shall always be among you." This is the business principle used by people from that religion whose holy book says that. They do products for the poor because it's a sustainable and powerful business model. Make products for poor people, emphasize the need for that product, and they will buy and buy and buy and buy and buy. Brother Jack.
Yeah.
Ati mazibusa. Ati bwanji mazibusa. Pangani au zombi unosafunza ma why.
Yeah. The clergy.
We're talking about perspectives,
Yes.
mindset,
Yes,
seeing.
yes.
Jesus said, "Know the truth,
Yes.
and it shall make you free." Why don't they know? Because they don't ask. The 5 questions you spoke about why.
Yes.
So we're talking about why now.
Yes. So in the why arena, as we continue, and in line with the clergy, the religious leaders, yeah, from way back, what has been emphasized amongst the people by the clergy is humility, poverty, and especially don't ask questions.
Yeah.
When you ask questions, you are deemed as
A rebel.
or maybe some evil spirit is operating and influencing you in a particular direction.
Absolutely.
So there is this inherent fear in the pew when someone is in the pulpit that whatever they say, even if you know that what he's saying it's not really there, but you're quiet and you will not say anything. Even after the service, you will not say anything. You just go home and start talking to your wife and say, "I think what the pastor said today was really off." And maybe your wife will say, because
vofunza.
Exactly.
Pena ngumkazi mvelela chabe.
Exactly. So I love, I've studied Jesus Christ from the few books that talk about him. I've studied him a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot of material just from studying Jesus Christ that
Agreed.
we are not given in the pulpit.
Agreed.
And one of them is that Jesus Christ was a very radical person who did not
Extremely.
beat about the bush and told it as it is.
Was. Yes.
You understand what I mean?
Yes.
And one of the things, again, he said, is when a blind man leads another blind man, they
End
both
up in a ditch.
I don't want to be led by a blind man.
Wow.
So, since I don't want to be led by a blind man, I have to make sure my own eyes are functioning. Yes. And how do I do that?
How do you do that, my brother?
So I make sure I study on my own. I have at least, if it's not the entire eyesight, at least I can see some shadow.
So if we call it at the Berean spirit.
Yes, the
We have even
Berean
been
spirit.
called names
Yes.
for that.
Yes, the Berean spirit. It is cardinal.
Yes.
It is important. There is no two ways about it. And as a preacher, you should not be afraid of questions.
Yes.
From the people that you are leading. Because this, in the same vein, it says if a blind person leads another blind person, they both fall into a ditch. Now, if you are blind as a leader and the one you're leading can see a little bit, they might be able to warn you to say, "Hey, there's a ditch there."
Yes.
You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So the both of you have to have your eyes open individually on your own. You must work on your eyes. Let them open. Stop trying to see the speck in your brother's eye.
So let's talk about the follower is a bit seeing. Because the problem is that leadership
Yes.
has surrounded themselves with yes people.
Yes.
So even, I was amazed, when you read books like Leading Like Madiba, or you great leaders. Let's just talk about great leaders across the world, including even somebody they call a dictator like Kagame.
Yes.
What blew me away is that these great leaders have learned to surround themselves with very competent people.
Yes.
And these competent people, including Kagame,
Yes.
literally argue their point in those meetings and say, look, as far as I know, this is the best way. And you find that the great leaders have learned to listen.
Yes.
So where is the problem with us?
Well, the problem is, again, in our understanding of what leadership is. You understand? There is what you call authority, and then there is what you call leadership or hierarchies. Hierarchies and power are two different issues here. A hierarchy is just, a system of authority, or a system of leadership, a system of hierarchies. How would I put it? A system of responsibility.
Yes. So in other words, as you go higher up the thing, there's more responsibility.
Yes. So only
to him whom much power is given.
That's because he's shown that he can actually handle it. Not because he was born with it. No.
But he demonstrates.
Yes. So there's supposed to be a demonstration. Leadership means you are ahead.
You lead.
Meaning you initiate.
You are first.
You are the first person. You initiate. You are an initiator.
So you show.
Yes. So you show. You're
so
supposed to be in front.
So it's not kuimia na chimshapu kumbuyo.
No.
It's not bantu muchechi worshiping the pastor.
No.
Supporting the pastor.
Absolutely not.
Let's talk about that one a bit. Go on.
Because, for example, I don't like the phrase that we like using about for example, people that govern the country. We say they are in power. We shouldn't be saying that. They are not in power. That's not the idea. They are actually in responsibility. They are. I like that. They are responsible. We employed them.
Yes.
To manage the affairs of our country,
for
the
a given season.
The wealth of our country, our welfare. They are managing that. What's that got to do with power?
Nothing.
Absolutely. It's responsibility.
Correct.
So if someone is responsible, you understand, they are responsible to me. They are supposed to be willing to be answerable to me.
Correct.
If I ask questions, they should answer the questions.
So that's the key to accountability.
And yes, in fact, that's the purpose of accountability. If you're running away from accountability, then you don't understand what you are doing.
Wow. So now let's relate this to poverty, need, ukuvutika, and all this stuff, and the why question. How do they all connect?
For example, in the African setup, what we have is people in leadership positions who are not supposed to be in leadership positions.
What are they supposed to be?
Because it's a leadership position. Let me say it again. It's a leadership position. I'll say it again. It's a leadership position. I'll say it again. It's a leadership position. That means the one that should be in it should have, at least in the past, shown leadership skills, should have shown initiative skills. Do you understand what I'm saying? If they don't have any of these skills, why are they in the leadership position? It's like having a kid in the driver's position.
I'm telling you. That car is going into a ditch.
Yes, absolutely. Guaranteed.
Because first, they've never driven a car.
No.
Secondly,
yes. And on top of that, they've not been to driving school.
But then do you agree? Because I've heard people saying, no. What matters is God. As long as God has anointed or chosen you.
And that is where, again, there is the biggest lie. I started. There's a difference between responsibility, and power. Power is corrupt.
True.
You understand?
Absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's an English saying.
Yes.
It's true. 100%.
The verse they try to talk about is in Romans, where it says that all authority comes from God.
Correct.
You see, the meaning of that verse, it's saying that all manner of authority anywhere in the universe was designed
by God.
Why did he design such authority? Authority meaning order.
Yes.
It's because he is not a God of confusion, but of order.
Yes.
So to have order, he designed what we call hierarchies.
Correct.
You understand?
Yes.
And all hierarchies come from God. He is the one who initiated the idea of hierarchies.
Correct.
So even in the pit of hell, there are hierarchies.
No, that I agree.
As in the devil himself
in
has
fact,
people
my
under
brother,
him.
no, that one you are very correct. I always tell a lot of Christians, especially after understanding this part, I always tell a lot of Christians that those of you who waste your time rebuking devils have failed to understand spiritual authority.
Yes.
Because in the spirit, a higher ranking devil, if you like, can overcome a lower ranking God angel.
Yes.
And it's proven. I just don't want to go into the scriptures, but it's very provable.
Yes.
So that's why in the spiritual realm,
Yes.
there's serious order of hierarchy.
Yes.
Where a principle over a city
Yes.
can only be overcome by a principle
Yes.
over a country,
Yes.
and so on and so
Yes.
forth. So there's serious hierarchy.
You see? So you get the idea there.
Yes.
So it's right in your face, but we never want to study it.
Perspectives hidden in plain
Yes.
sight.
And that topic of leadership and hierarchies and authority is a whole world of knowledge
I'm
that
telling
can
you.
set you completely
Free.
In the house, my dad and me are just the same. He's a guy, I'm a guy.
Correct.
The difference is hierarchies.
Yes.
He gave birth to me.
Correct.
You understand? I didn't
Yes.
give birth to him. It doesn't matter whether I'm bigger than him. He's still got a higher hierarchy than me.
Correct.
It doesn't matter whether I'm richer than him. He's still got a higher hierarchy
Than
than
me.
me. So
So
when-
it's the idea behind husband Wi-Fi.
it's the same thing. In a home,
Lasangonia.
the husband has a higher hierarchy than the wife. It's not whether the wife has got a lot of money. It's hierarchies.
knowledge.
Or knowledge or what. It's hierarchies.
Wow.
Hierarchies.
Wow.
The reason you are respecting him is not because he's a good guy or because he is very romantic or because he says, I love you every day. It's because the position he's standing in, he has a higher hierarchy than yours.
It's like Christ is the head of the church.
Yes.
So that
yes.
idea.
That's the hierarchy.
So would we then say even my church, if we understand hierarchy, not vivama.
Yes, kufunika kuchita understand the hierarchy. So because you call yourself an apostle doesn't mean that I should bow to you. After all,
No! No!
after all, in the church building, the word. Come on. After all, in the church building, the word apostle doesn't even apply. You understand? The word apostle means the sent one, the
Yes,
missionary.
which is a missionary.
Yes,
In fact, I always get amazed
exactly.
where the whole thing of an apostle being some super
Yes. The word pastor
And-
means shepherd. What, so
yes.
you understand?
Or messenger.
In the church, there is the pastor as the one that feeds you spiritually, but then
Correct.
there's also the administration hierarchies. Like there's one giving reports about money and all that. Well, it's a vast topic.
You know what I mean? Vast.
But it must be understood. When you understand it,
Hierarchy.
you can't insult your father because
Yes.
you've crossed hierarchies.
Correct.
You cannot insult the devil, for example. Let me give that
yes,
example.
please give it. Because if you're not chosen like a scripture,
You can't insult the devil and say you are whatever you want to say.
Hey.
Because there are hierarchies. He's operating on a completely different hierarchy. You need to understand that hierarchy.
That's me hitting the table.
Michael, when they were disputing over
That's
the
what I wanted to
body-
quote my tengas.
The archangel Michael, when they were disputing with Satan over the body
Of Moses.
he did not say Yoka Mwaiche. No, they were talking on the level of hierarchy.
Yes.
And said, hey, Michael, imagine Michael, I know he's big,
He's the
whatever.
prince. Yes, he's the prince of
He
Israel.
doesn't say Niopene. He says, no, the
The
Lord
rebuke you.
uses a higher authority. Now, who are we to use
Do you
our
know,
own-
my brother, there's another passage. There's another passage, my brother, where Peter is rebuking people and he says, they have no understanding and they therefore insult dignitaries.
Yes.
But those who understand know they ought not to do this.
Yes. Paul did that in the Acts of the Apostles. He called the high priest, you whitewashed wall. And then someone said, hey, you can't insult the high priest. Then he said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize he was the high priest. I'm really sorry. Why did he do that? He understood hierarchies.
Correct.
So even in the system, the reason I don't insult the president is because that hierarchy.
Correct. And that's why anybody, in fact, I love that. So it's not because I want you to address this touch not the anointing. Guys, that's another one.
You see what I mean?
You have pastors who make you think like you're about to be hit by the devil because of whatever. Very annoying. I wanted to say a word, but Nareke is a hierarchy. So anyway. No, I apologize in advance, even if I didn't say it. Go on. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so even the touch not the anointed one thing, we are all anointed.
Thank you.
You understand that? Mm-hmm. Because when Christ came, this whole actual segregation of anointing changed. He poured his spirit upon all flesh.
That's what it says in Joel.
That's what it says.
On all flesh.
So
it doesn't say that, no. Venangu bazanga na kapu ikuru, venangu to kapu to ngono. I don't see that in the Bible. Maybe somebody should show me where I don't know where it is. Because because some pastors, when they walk into churches, people kneel, stand.
Yes.
What? I'm like, what is this?
And Jesus,
what manner of bewitching is this? Who bewitched you, Galatians? Okay, who bewitched you, Zambians? I am a pity uncle. So Tibore Amanja Pawai, guys, because poverty, shani.
So getting back to the point, you see how if you don't ask questions, if you don't ask why, you can completely get
let's
lost.
get to this point. So Muntu Agakamba, no, here the pastor will stand. You should ask why.
Yes.
So that you get a reason, eh?
Yes, and the pastor must change his preaching, his way of communicating with the sheep. He must not communicate in a patronizing way, where it sounds like when he tells you something, you can't ask why. No, he must communicate in a way that allows you to say why.
In a ministry, I know a number of churches where you have these great men serving. And they would advise. They would say, man of God, woman of God, this method that we're handling our money, I think is not safe.
Yes.
We need to put these systems in place that will help us. And I've heard with my own ears where a man or woman of God says, you were not here when we started this ministry.
So you see, that's the problem. The why is what gives growth. The why is what protects you. The why
is what makes you to see the truth.
Yes. Wow. So if someone is telling you not to ask why, he is perpetuating blindness, perpetuating stuntedness, a lack of growth.
Correct.
Is he actually perpetuating stagnation, lack of progress?
And these are the things that lead to poverty. If we had an audience as a finger our thought. Let me even give a story per minute as to take calls. And we'll be coming back again. Remember, Brother Jack is my dear brother and friend. We do these intelligent talks a lot with this brother. He is so deep. I love his brain. I love his mind. He's just one of those outliers like myself. So tikakumana topic is ingasiri. But I want to give a story in relation to not asking why, and then from there we take the calls. I came across this very interesting story. There used to be a barracks, an army barracks, and in this army barracks, there was this culture where 4 soldiers would march every morning, stand in the middle of a field, and guard there all day, just standing. And then in the evening, another 4 will come, stand there, guard all night. This went on for decades, listeners. Decades. Not years, decades. Tens of years. So one time comes one of those sharp generals who now becomes the new barracks commander. And so, he's amused by this process. He's seen it for years. But he just never gets it. So one day, as he's sitting there just amused about this process, he went and asked the sergeant. But sergeant, yes, sir, why do these soldiers march and stand in the middle of this field all day and then the others do it in the night? Sir, the reason is because that's what we're taught to do, sir. Yeah, but what's the reason? We found it being done and that's why we do it, sir. Oh, okay, fine. So he left it at that because obviously it wasn't going anywhere. So then one day, an old retired general comes to visit. Quite a senior guy comes to visit. And as they chit-chat after their pleasantries, as he's walking the general back, he witnesses this thing. Oh, sir! go. Ah, terrible left. Wow. The usual thing that soldiers do when they're doing a march past and guard of honor, whatever they call it. So they are changing this thing, and then the general just laughs and goes, And then now the general runs the place, goes, why are you laughing, sir? He says, well, because I thought this thing had ended. Well, actually, that's a good point you raised. Can you tell me where is this thing from? He says, listen, this thing, when I was coming here as a private, when I started my training here, you see those 3 buildings to the far left? He said, yes. The material that was used to build that used to sit at that spot where those people are. And then also there were munitions which had to be transferred and kept at that spot. So there was a specific order given that all munitions and the building material must be guarded 24/7 so that nothing is stolen. So this is where the process started. Now, as this was going on, as they were building, the original major that gave the order left. He was transferred to another place, and another major took over. And so him seeing that this was what was going on just continued it. So the buildings finished, the munitions were moved away, but this process never ended. And then he would moved, another one came, and then before you know it, it's been decades. He says, you're joking. He says, that's the reason. It's just a culture now, but otherwise the reason was the munitions, and that's how the general stopped it. So now, why did this thing go on for decades? Nobody asked why.
True.
So let's take the calls.
All right, you can give us a call. The number is 0974 870 0974 870 That is the number if you want to be part of the show. 0974 870 0974 870
Okay, so meantime, my brother Jack, let's just go on. So let's now move on to the need issue. Oh, okay. Anyway, the calls just start coming, so that's it. We'll probably be on it next week. Hi, you're through to Prosperity Insights. Who are we speaking to?
Illinois within Lusaka. Rev.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I have just 2 minutes in my phone, but however, I would like to. How can I get forward with these sessions? Like the session of today, it's too powerful. How can I listen to it again?
There's a good brother of mine who downloads these things for us, and then I'm supposed to upload them on YouTube. So we will have them on YouTube for you. So that's a promise.
Like when can they be ready?
I'm going to push my friend next week. We should have it up on air on YouTube on my channel, my Rev Walter Mambazi YouTube channel.
Mark my words, it's not going to be ready by next week. I'll push your phone like I don't know. Because to be honest with you, I don't know. There are no words I can express how I can contribute about need and the why. And that's just a true way why this countryside you call Africa is like this. And there's no one on earth that can ever explain the way it has been explained today and put. That's a very simple thing.
Nice one. We appreciate it so much. Thanks so much. We will make sure, push me, but I'll make sure I upload it as soon as Chisomo.
I have your number. I will push you like I don't know. Especially that one for today. If I get this one for today, then I'm home and try.
Okay.
I know where to hit the rest.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Okay, God bless you all the way.
Indeed. Thanks.
And the person you hosted.
That's Brother Jack.
Brother Jack, I can rest assure you, if we had thousands in you, Africa would have been heaven by now.
True.
Glory to God.
We agree.
No doubt about it.
Indeed.
Now we have you in tens. Not even in tens. We have you in one.
Yeah. We're working to change that narrative.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming through. Indeed. So let's take more calls. If you're through, you can come through and speak to us, comment on any issue you've heard today. Okay, that's another call. Hi, you're through to Prosperity Insights. May we have your name, please?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Speaking to Evans.
Evans, huh?
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, Evans. Please go ahead with your question, comment, or contribution.
No, it's just a comment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you started the program, I was very fast. I almost cried, huh? About the need and no one. And it's just like a coincidence. This morning on the hot seat with is it the economics of whatever. Yes, and what you are saying and what we were saying is basically carrying and he's saying that where does it leave us for Africans? Because basically Africans have everything, yet we are the ones who are so needy. When those that don't have anything are the ones now ruling us.
Yeah. Very sad.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's
Oh, shame. Yeah, anyway, no, you have a point. We have to wake up. Let's just wake up. I'm sure that's what you wanted to say. Hi, is there another call? Oh, okay. So continue trying to call us. Okay, so come through. We're through. This is Revolta Prosperity Insights. Go ahead. Who are we speaking to?
Reverend, how are you?
Very good, sir. Who am I speaking to?
Chileshe here.
Chileshe. Please go
That's
ahead
right.
with your comment. Shanuko.
Okay, Brother Jack, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you, sir.
Okay, quickly. I would like to talk about the Iraq part.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you explained in connection with Romans 13.
Yes.
Yes.
When we read in Matthew 4, verse 5 to 11,
Yes.
when Jesus was tempted by the devil.
Yes.
The last temptation was about the devil showing him all the
The
Authority,
glory
the authorities of the world.
Yes.
You got the response to that Jesus gave, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He did not dispute that the devil has that power
Yes.
to give to anyone who would want to.
Yes.
Yes, but Jesus took a position
Yes.
of like only God must be worshipped.
Yes.
Correct.
That's right.
Yes.
So surprisingly, we all focus on Romans 13 when we're talking about human leadership,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
but no one talks about Matthew chapter 4, verse 5 to 11.
Yes.
That the devil can also install the leadership
Yes.
Yes. That's a
within his
fact.
powers.
Oh,
Wow.
yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I love that.
Wow.
No, you nailed it. You're very correct.
That's
Go
right.
on, go
so
on.
we are all looking at it, Romans 13.
Yes.
And it has always been like that for
Yes,
years, and
yes,
it still continues.
Yes.
But when you look at some the leaders, especially those who inflict so much pain on their
Yes.
people, how can
Yes.
God, a
How
God of
can
justice,
God?
He
allow
will
such?
not allow that. He permits it because it is due to the acts of what has gone on in the land. It is the land that draws such leadership.
Congratulations! I'm so happy to hear that. You know what I'm paying attention, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. Always. I mean, remember what God would say repeatedly to the Jews. That if you do not obey me, if you do not obey me, if you do not obey me, and then finally it happened, right? Like
That's
the
right.
tyrants showed up and
They
it
found
was hell.
themselves in the land of Babylon.
Yes, because they didn't
They
listen.
executed terribly
Yes,
because of disobedience.
correct.
Okay, quickly, as I wind up, Rev,
Yes, sir.
I would like to talk about, when we look at ourselves in Africa, and then we look at our friends in Asia.
Which part of Asia?
Singapore,
Because in
Malaysia, and
Oceania.
China.
Oh, kuja. Okay,
Yes,
kuli Asia,
those-
India, kuli
These
Asia.
nations who have just risen up from the 70s to date.
Yes.
What did they do differently that they could rise up so quickly, and start commanding respect? Why are we not learning from them?
Yes.
But we are just admiring. To say, look at China.
Not only are
Like
we
China's always
admiring
been
Mdara,
there.
not only are we admiring, manje tawapasa na red carpet.
Thank you so much. Enjoying the show.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Tilese. We have given them red carpet. I have vowed that from this day going forward, every of my shows, if I have a chance, I'm going to talk about China. Not the Chinese people, but China. Go on. You're through to Prosperity Insights. Who are we speaking to?
Brave, you're talking to Francis. How have you been?
Awesome, Francis. How are you doing?
I'm good, though it's a little bit chilly, man.
Yeah, it is actually. And it's going to be getting colder.
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe this is going to be a very good environment for COVID-19. to
Yeah,
excel.
right. But you know that story with COVID. Let's not even go there.
Brother Jack, how have you been?
I've been fine, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, good to talk to you guys. Just a quick one. You guys have just reminded me of myself
Oh.
because there's this norm that when you ask why, then they will tell you you're a politician.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes, there was that, yes.
That's where the problem is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you look at the other side of the unbuttered side of the bread, you are a politician.
Sad.
You should continue by just looking at this side which is battered.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is what Rev said, that the unhidden side and the plain side.
Yes.
The perspective are hidden.
Mm.
That's where the problem is. If you begin to ask why, you actually find the solutions to the current problems we have.
Correct.
Not just as Africa,
Mm.
but not just as Zambia, but as Africa.
Yes.
Yes.
Because the problem here is, look, let's quickly go to the needs.
Mm.
If you want a business,
Mm.
don't look at a business that John is doing
Mm.
and what Peter is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Provide a solution to a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to excel.
Yes.
You are going to excel. When you provide a solution to a current problem, you are going to excel. You talked about guys here who are making billions of kwacha through sanitizers.
I've just lifted the sanitizer in the studio and I was pointing in containment and saying solution.
Absolutely. You look at you provide a solution. So this is where we are losing it. I don't know, but I feel you guys are just reminding me of myself because I don't just receive things without asking why.
Neither do we. The both of us. We don't.
Look, when I was driving, I'm just from Cosmopolitan right now.
Mm-hmm.
My wife called me. Oh, buy bread and cooking oil. I asked why. You get the point, huh?
I like that.
Why? So what I wanted to know from her is, one, she gives me, I don't have money, so you buy, or coming back to hierarchy, because you are the father, you buy.
Correct.
She's answering the why, or because we are hungry.
Correct. And and all three are very valid, you know.
I'm telling you,
Correct.
if you can answer me, then I'll proceed to buy bread. You guys do take care of yourself. I'm rushing home.
Thanks, Francis.
Love you.
Love you too, guy. Thanks for coming through. Awesome stuff. Let's take the last call, but our time is totally gone. And then my brother Jack is going to do the wrap up. You're doing the wrap up, Jack. You even do the rant. I normally do the rant, but today I think brother Jack must do it. Have we got a call? Okay, so we're done. So we have a call. Okay, you're through to Prosperity Insights. Who are we speaking to?
Rev, this is Abraham.
Abraham, talk to us, my
Long
brother.
time.
Long time indeed. Mind your time. I see that. So just shoot.
A quick one, Rev. You are shaking us.
Is it?
Yes. We need this. You see, this is the reason why Africa is lagging behind, because I don't know, our perspective is somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
When they come, they give us different perspectives, and we are looking elsewhere. Other things are helping elsewhere.
Mm.
I think we need to change, and it starts from us.
Yes.
Yes.
And Rev and Brother Jack,
Yes.
I think I've been talking about these things. I think even from time to time, we need this topic time to time so that our mindset changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Africa has been the way it is because our mindset has been changed. We have been programmed in a different way, whilst other people are benefiting.
Mm-hmm.
It's high time Africa wakes up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we'll perpetually be living like this until Jesus comes.
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
And
Otherwise, this is what we're doing, and we need this actually. Even on a smaller grouping, Brother Jack.
Yes.
I think organize things like this. Talk to men, talk to leaders, so that we change.
Yes.
Otherwise, we are lagging behind. We need this change. I'm really grateful for what you're doing, and thank you everything for this. I'm a regular listener. I mean, for Perspective Insights, and I'm so grateful, Reverend.
Nice one, Abraham. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
the feedback. Thank you
you.
so much. Thanks for coming
All
through.
right, thanks.
All right, so brother Jack, ndimo mchitaka rant. Kamankala about 1.5 minutes. So go.
Okay, so in terms of the clergy, religion, the church, and how instead of making us grow positively, they've actually contributed to hurting us. Well, please do not feel hurt by this, but grow from it, from what I'm about to say. Allow people to ask the why question as a leader. That why question, if you don't have the answer, it will provoke you as a leader to find the answer.
Correct.
So that next time someone asks the why question, you have the answer right at your fingertips. Rather than coming up with strange answers.
Like touch not.
Yes. Strange answers like touch not the anointed one. Oh, God will tell us the reasons for these things later on in life. Stuff
the
like
most
that.
annoying answer in the
Yes,
world.
it is. But let people ask us as leaders the why question.
Yes.
That why question is going to provoke us, the leaders, to search
For answers.
and we will find them. There is a promise by God that if you search for me with all your heart, you will find me.
Yeah.
The trick is all your heart. The problem is we have leaders who are not wholeheartedly dedicated to seeking answers to questions.
Yes.
That's the problem. And they are placing themselves in leadership positions. Because if you do not have answers, why are you leading? Because you should lead only when you have an answer. You have initiated, you have led, you are ahead. Then you can tell the ones following after you to say, oh, this is what I did, this is what I saw. You see, you can't take people to Ndola you've never been there.
You know what I mean?
You understand? You can't just stand pakona there and say Ndola yabo kusaidi. And shan kabieni. No, you must first and foremost, walifika kundola, you know where the humps are, where the roadblocks are, where the speed traps are, where elephants cross the road. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where snakes bite. You have to know all those things.
Absolutely.
And then when people say kundola, you tell them, let me take you there. And then you are telling them, oh, apapa liba hampo, apapa liba nsoka isale namado. There are mosquitoes here and so on and so forth. Yeah. That's what leadership is in the church. In the church. When someone comes to you in the church, they must change. Their mind must be set on fire. Don't set their feet on fire. Set their minds on fire. Their mind. Set that mind on fire. And now you know that same guy will come to you and say, but Pastor, what is this? And then you go like, now he is thinking.
Correct.
But if they never ask you questions, if all the questions they ask you are questions that are like superficial questions, you must be worried as a leader.
Yes.
You understand? People need to know the truth because only the truth sets free. Only the truth sets free. You can cast out demons out of a human being, but if they are still ignorant of the truth, the demons will return. Or they will not. Yes, they'll come with their uncles and blah, 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 and invest themselves in that person. As long as truth sets free.
Yes.
Truth sets free. I changed the way I deal with my children when I learned the truth. I changed the way I deal with females when I learned the truth. I changed the way I deal with males when I learned the truth.
Yes.
I changed the way I pursue wealth or riches or whatever it is when I learned the truth.
Yes.
I changed the way I walk when I learned the truth.
Correct.
I changed the way I sleep when I learned the truth. The truth is. So, when there is no truth, you create need that is unnecessary. Let's stop there for now.
I'm telling you. So, Manveses, Brother Jack will be back again in a couple of weeks with another Perspectives in Hidden Sight. We in plain sight. Huh? What is it? Perspectives hidden in plain sight.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Chizungu. Perspectives hidden in plain sight. It's been your man, Rev Walter, back again next week as usual with another prolific guest and a rant. But my rants will really be a lot with my brother here because we are provoking people.